Well, g'day and welcome to My Coaching Story. I'm Brad Sugars, the chairman and founder of Action Coach, and having a team of coaches all over the world delivering amazing results to business owners comes down to recruiting not only great coaches, but amazing coaches. And today we get to meet Bill Gilliland. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Great, Brad, you?
Fantastic. Now, Bill, the first question on this, what is My Coaching Story, is always, what do you love about being a business coach? What is it that you love about it?
I really like it all. There's a couple of things. I really love watching our clients have success. That to me, that's the best. It's nice when we win awards, but it's really nice when our clients win awards.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to see, someone go from 8 employees to 70 employees, or someone, 10x their business over a couple of years. So that's the big thing. The other thing that I really like is sort of the fact that we have to always be growing ourselves. Mm-hmm. We always have to be on our game. We always have to be staying on top of our learning. We always have to be up with whatever the latest is, as it comes to business. So a couple of things, that's a personal side. And then the other thing is the client results.
Yeah, I love both of those too. And if I was to go back to pre-becoming a coach, did you ever, was it something where you woke up and said, you know what, I want to be a business coach? Or was it just something that naturally occurred?
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember back in probably 5, maybe 7 years before I ever heard of Action Coach. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal about what executive coaching was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And I just remember that one little instance. And that's the only instance of anything about coaching until of course you and I got together. So yeah.
So tell people a little bit about your career pre-Action Coach and what led you to becoming a coach.
Yeah, I was actually trained as an engineer, and mostly because my dad thought it would be good for me. Mm-hmm. And so I worked in corporate a couple of years and didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to do corporate. So got an MBA, went to work for a family business of which I wasn't part of the family. And I was lucky enough to be put in charge of a large division quickly. Mm. And so I kind of learned business the wrong way, sort of top down. And it was kind of funny.
Seems to be a lot of our clients do that too.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, long story short, a family business. I knew it wasn't where I wanted to be long term. Had an opportunity to open a business back where I'd grown up in my hometown. So we
Which was where? Where was it that you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in a place called Greenwood, South Carolina.
Greenwood, South Carolina.
Yeah, textile mill village town. Mm-hmm. And so we opened up a Western auto store, it wasn't a franchise, but it fell under the franchise laws. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of a dealer situation. Mm-hmm. We grew it fast, did well for about 7 years, and then sort of didn't do well for a while. And it would have been nice to have had to known what coaching was then. It really would have been.
The number of people, though, and you must hear this all the time, I wished I'd had a coach back.
I've never had anybody say that they wish they'd hired me later.
I like that line.
Yeah. So, anyway, they, from there, my wife looked at me one day, said, "You're miserable. We got to do something different. I want to take a job a ways away." So, long story short, we transitioned out of that business, eventually sold the building to the Salvation Army, which was kind of cool. The Salvation Army, by the way, is an army. They have generals.
Yeah.
And it was a general had to sign off on it. Anyway, so I got involved we moved to Virginia, and I got involved in a couple of poultry related businesses. And we ended up, we did okay in that for a while. And then we ended up selling one of the main parts of it. I didn't really have anything to do. So I was looking for another business to buy, or a sales territory, or a job, or something, and I actually came across Action Coach, and I got a call, and the call said, I remember it well because it said, "Have you ever thought about being in business for yourself but not by yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did that once." It was, and so the more I looked into it, the more it just felt
Yeah.
right.
You
Everything
know,
just lined up.
if
Yeah.
you look at all of that business experience and all that knowledge, running someone else's business or running a division of someone else's business, fast growth in your own business, picking a couple of other businesses that, maybe the poultry business you didn't have as much passion for as you have for coaching type
No,
thing.
no, no. I didn't have as much passion for any of them. I always say that, until I found Action Coach, I really didn't know what I was supposed to be doing with my life.
Right.
So it became super clear
Mm.
that, we get to help people and we get paid well for it. So it's a win-win.
When
So
you think about the clients that you've helped, now how many years has it been?
it's been almost 15.
I was going to say 15 or 16 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you think about that 15 or 16 years, have been any favorite client stories in that time, like one or two where you just go, you know what, this is what keeps me coaching? Because to me, I remember back to getting the wives or partners or husbands of the businesses, the owners that I was coaching, and then the staff of them. And those were some of the things that kept me going as a coach, I guess, and kept me passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got plenty of stories. A couple that come to mind. I mean, I'm deep into some of these clients. I mean, some of these clients I've been coaching for over 10 years.
Mm.
I mean, I've coached the owners. Sometimes we'll coach for a little while, won't coach, and then but I'll be coaching the salespeople or the managers or the thing. But when I look at taking a company from 7 or 8 employees to multiple, we bought 2 other companies, gone from around 800,000, let's say, to over 10 million, the one of the partners now, a minority owner of the business, is the general sales manager. He started on the roof. Those kind of stories are amazing. I've got another client who, he told me the other day, and I can't say his name because he didn't want anybody to know, but he said, "Bill, what I'm trying to do now is to figure out how to give away $100,000 every year
Yeah.
out of his business. That's what I'm trying to figure out how to do."
Yeah. The
And
whole learn, earn, return. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So it's, those kind of things are like, yeah, we're making a big difference, not only to the business owners' families, but to their employees' family, to their whole communities.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
love that about that. And you've actually been nominated a few times for community impact in the number of jobs you create and the extra revenue for the community you're in. Let's talk about that community aspect of it, because as a coach, you're a leader in the community in many ways. How's that played out for you?
it's been interesting because I actually started this business twice, because
Mm.
when I started in Virginia and then we moved to North Carolina. So it's been an interesting to start it twice, because it kind of had to start over with a new
Mm.
community.
Mm.
And but I think it's partially why we do what we do. We have to, we have to be ingrained in the community. I believe, as a business coach, I have to be a leader in the community. I have to be looked up as a leader. I have to be out there. I mean, people have to know who we are. I know Beth, who's come to work for me in the last sort of 8 months. She says, "Well, Bill, everywhere I go, people, they know you." And I'm like, "Well, good. That's that's where we want to be."
Yeah.
That's where we want to be. We want them to have heard of us, even if they don't really understand what we do yet. That's okay. At least we can get in the door.
Yeah.
There's something there. So yeah, we look at giving back. I mean, I tend to do that on a personal side. I mean, I tend to want to, I tend to do more giving back to the community personally than through the business. We're out there. That's just how I tend to run it.
Yeah.
But
Well, our
it's okay.
business by nature gives back to the community. The nature of our business is a giving business. Like you think back to this pandemic. I look at all the work you did during the pandemic of educating people for free just to help them survive this thing. Like I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
weeks there where it was the number of hours just on Zoom calls helping people survive was phenomenal. I mean, I love that stuff too.
Yeah, no, and I want to, I want to acknowledge you here. I mean, I appreciate your leadership there because, in the pandemic, I remember at the first couple of weeks, I mean, people were scared
Yeah.
and they didn't know what to do. And, we got on it like right away. You got on it, and then we got on it like next day about, here's what we need to be thinking about. Here's what we need to be doing. Here's what we need to be getting out of there. And it was a good, kick in the rear for me. It was a good kick in the rear for a lot of people. And I think it really did. I mean, we really did help a lot of people. I mean, I got a lot of comments from, I was on, it was super interesting because I was getting, and people were like, yeah, you know what to do. Great. We'll take, do a webinar. We'll sponsor it. We'll send it out to all our people. I was getting chambers. I was getting, real estate associations. All kind of people were calling us saying, hey, once they figured out, we had a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's given that we've been through 4 economic downturns as an organization. And you go back to 2008 when we got on the road teaching people in 2008 to get through that one. And I think that says a lot about, if you add our foundation of what we do with kids and you add coaching for a cause, what we do with nonprofits, but just naturally our business grows community and grows economies and that sort of stuff. I want to talk about you personally, though, and your growth during the 15 years of being a coach, because I know when people come to being a coach, they're like, okay, I'm going to teach people what I know. But you said it in the beginning, you have to keep growing and you have to keep learning and stuff. How's your growth and how's that impacted you and your family and the people around you?
Yeah, before pre-action, I got a lot of education, but it wasn't intentional. It was what came with what needed to be learned for the job, I guess. So there were courses, there were seminars, there were books, but I wasn't on this sort of personal development track that action got me on like right away. And so, I mean, you can see the books. That's not even half of them. That's all I can fit on those.
I see some from a really cool author there.
There's some good authors there. Yeah, there's some good authors. Yeah, there's some good authors there. Yeah, yeah. So, well, no, they're good. I mean, still to this day, I mean, I use the books. We give them out to new clients. We give them out. I send books to clients all the time. Here's what we're doing. So that has been. We have a saying, and I don't know, maybe you coined it, but we have to be ahead of our clients. We don't have to be real far ahead of them, but we have to be ahead of them. And so it's super important for us to be up on whatever it is we're working on. And then, and I think it presents itself. Like if I'm not getting, if my sales are not going well, then I need to do some learning on sales. If my sales aren't, if my marketing isn't getting me leads, I need to go learn some more marketing.
Yeah. Now, taking community to the next level, I want to talk about 2 aspects of it. One is the community you've built of business owners.
Yep.
And the second is the community that you're a part of with the business coaches, being the Action Coach team. Take me through both of those and what that means to you, because your community that you've built and the community you're part of, they're both phenomenal aspects of being a coach.
Yeah, no, I love our clients. And I love Action Coach. And both are super important to me. But my favorite thing now is getting my clients together for, say, a 90-day planning, a growth club. That's my favorite thing. I love getting in there and facilitating that day. That to me is the most fun thing. One of the most fun things that we get to do. and
And
watch
watching them at the end of the day be friends. They're friends with each other now, these business owners.
Oh yeah, they do business with each other. And we're a bit spread out around here, and so Zoom has been brilliant. I mean, we have been, it is. We're going to probably be on some kind of hybrid for a long time. Between some things, some people want to come live, fine. People that don't want to travel or whatever, we're probably going to be doing that. So that's super good. Now, the other surprising thing to me, so other than the internal learning and all that about Action Coach, was how cool the culture was. I mean, I meet regularly with other coaches to talk about how to be better coaches. Three of us, I get together with the North Carolina team every Monday morning, and right after that, three of us get together. I've got friends all over the world now. I mean, I've been to conferences in Australia and Ireland and all over the UK. Of course, Scotland, that was golf with a conference tied on to the end, but it was but it was awesome, So
the travel is a great side impact of where.
Well, it's brilliant, and I'll be so glad when we can really get back to that. But I do. I have friends, and and I have never, right up to anybody in Action. I don't care who they are, where they are. I have never called anybody and not had them say, help me out. They've not, if I had a question about an industry or some specific thing I didn't know about, every single one of them has always helped me out.
Yeah.
So, and plus when we get together, we have a good time. It's fun. Yeah.
Bill, finishing your coaching story, I started with what you love about coaching. What's your plans now? Where do you see yourself going with this thing? Where do you see yourself building it? Because there's so many business owners that need help, and we try and get to all of them, as many as we can. But where do you see yourself building this thing? Because maybe one day Bill's going to retire. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, Ian McFarland is one of my heroes. So that's sort of my.
Now we need to explain to everyone who Ian McFarland is.
Yeah. Well, Ian's a mentor of mine too, and he's I don't know how Ian must be 80.
He's about to be, and he's still coaching and still coaching,
and he's doing it well. And every time I talk to that guy, even if it's for like 5 seconds, I learn something. So it's super good. That's not my plan. I actually have been working on this pretty hard because I've having moved and had a business partner in the business and had some other things. I've done this business a lot of different ways, and we're going to be adding. Right now, I'm building up marketing capacity. I'm spending a ton of time building up. We're revving up to create so many leads that there's no way I can potentially even handle them.
Yeah.
And so I'm adding that. I'm going to add sales capacity, and we're going to, of course, be adding a couple of coaches.
Yeah, well, maybe watching this video wants to join your team at some point. Hopefully, because it'll be a phenomenal thing to be learning at the feet of the master.
No, it would be awesome. And I do want to, I've had people that I've talked to over the years, and I said, what are you going to do with the business? And he said, well, I'm just going to close it down. And I'm like, well, what? That makes no sense to me. So I don't really have retirement plans. I love this business for that aspect too. My original retirement plan was to get a sales territory until I found Action Coach. And then I realized that, you can scale this business. I can I can build a business and then take some clients that I like to hang out with, and we can do that. Or
fantastic
things and stuff. So yeah, that's the plan right now. So yeah,
Bill, congratulations on everything you've done so far. And I'm really looking forward to watching over the next 10 years, the more clients that you help, because every one of your clients that I've met so far has been a raving fan, but also they've got such phenomenal results in their business and their life that I'm glad that you found Action Coach. And I'm glad that Action Coach found you.
It's been a good fit. Yeah. Thanks, Brad.